Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. Today is Friday and that means normally Friday reads on my channel, but I did a little check and saw that all the books I showed you last week would be in this one as well. Because I'm reading like 5 books at the same time at the moment, or now I'm down to 4. And I managed to finish the Dickens story I showed you last week, and I started and finished The Republic of Thieves by Lynch. There will be a review up here on Monday for it. And I progressed through all the other books I showed you, but I didn't start anything new on top of it. So my Friday reads this week would pretty much look like my Friday reads last week, and I thought that wasn't that interesting. So instead of that, I'm doing a little discussion video. I don't know if it's a really discussion, more of an explanation, maybe about how I rate books, because with the whole be critical discussion we had lately on BookTube, it might be interesting to kind of know that. And I also think it might be helpful just for you to have kind of a navigator for my ratings, to maybe know, oh okay, if Michael says that is a 5 for him, that might be only a 4 for me, or if Michael said that it's a 3 for him, it might still be a 4 for me. So let's get started. I kind of have like a yin-yang approach to my ratings, because while I'm reading a book, I always have like a gut feeling that starts after the beginning and solidifies during the middle, and normally around 75–80% I'm almost 100% sure how I'm going to rate the book. That almost never changes, only if the ending is like really surprising in a good or bad way. And that kind of gut feeling is not in any way like intellectually backed up at that moment, but that gut feeling is the rating most often the story will actually get in the end. And the second thing that happens afterward is that I try to check my gut feeling and bring it into my rating value system. So when I think actively about rating, I'm looking at 5 different areas of a novel. The first part I look into is world building. That is by far the most important thing for me in a novel. As a fantasy and science fiction and steampunk reader, it is very important, if you go into a secondary world, that the secondary world is established really well, believable, and in very good cases has some thematic kind of reflection of our own world. So you will actually see why the author did something different to reflect an issue we might have in our own world. So this kind of combination of sense of wonder on the one hand, to see something new, something unexpected, going along with a kind of political or sociological sandboxing, is what interests me the most in speculative fiction. The second thing I'm looking into is plot, because as I said, I like the sense of wonder, and I also like surprises, so I like to be surprised by the plot on the one hand, but on the other hand I also like when the plot is well constructed, when I have this kind of feeling, maybe on a reread, or even if I'm very observant, is that the right word? I don't know, at the first read, that I can pick up like hints and come to the conclusion. So both of this can actually be very very satisfying to be surprised on the one hand, or on the other hand to have this kind of clues. And I like when this is very well constructed and very solid and complex. Next up, of course, we have characters. That is for many people the most important thing in a novel, to have interesting characters or characters that are relatable. For me personally, characters lie more in the middle of my value system when it comes to rating. So yeah, important or not important, interesting and relatable characters are important for me, but not as important as other aspects. As important as characters, so I wouldn't say they are yeah, characters, just I talked about them before, are more important. These two are more on the same level, is themes for me. I do this a bit separately because of course themes can come up in various kind of ways inside a novel, but with themes I always mean the things that are more intellectually engaging in a novel. That is important for me as well, and I think that are the things that that the Be Critical movement, or part of the Be Critical movement, is hinting towards. Like, there are books, of course, that want to purely entertain, and there are books that, besides entertainment, or even despite of having no entertainment at all, have more intellectual merits. So you have like themes that are important in them, and for you to find out and have to think about and have to relate that maybe to your own person, to your own situation, or to your larger political situation, if it's a more like political or sociological theme. So the intellectual engagement, and that is something I think that is very important to mention for me, that this is a part I'm looking into actively, but as I said before, it's not the most important one for me. So I know that there are people out there who say, okay, if the theme is very intellectually engaging and that blows my mind, and it's like a book that made me think so much, that is like the highest value or the highest merit a book can have, and that is not the case for me. It's important, and I have books that I rated 5 stars despite of not liking other things because of the intellectual engagement it gave me, but more often than not that doesn't happen. I tend more to rate books that are intellectually engaging but are not really gripping me with all the rest, more in the 2, 3, maybe 4 stars region, but it seldomly happens that I go and give them 5 stars. And last but not least, we have the writing itself. Of course, you can measure writing quality in kind of how the author is able to use symbolism, beautiful prose, for example, maybe even lyrical writing, and that is something I acknowledge, and that goes also into my rating of a book. And I have rated books before maybe very low or maybe very high due to their writing style, but when it comes to the writing style is definitely the least important part of my rating. So if you want to get like the whole Michael idea behind you, it can happen that a book that is beautifully written and is intellectually engaging gets a bad rating from me because it has flaws in world building and plot. When it then comes to the final rating, I'm trying to stick with the way the Goodreads stars are yeah, lined out, like really saying the 1 star is only for books I really disliked. That doesn't often happen, because normally if a book does not try or is not really able to engage me in any way, it goes more into the 2-star category, which is more like a neutral feeling, like I didn't really care for that, but it wasn't like outright offensive and I didn't think I wasted my time. That's where the 2-star category comes in. And yeah, the 3-star category is I liked the book. That is like you will often see me say things for 3-star books that are I found it enjoyable and I found it solid. These are often the things I use for 3-star books, because they were that, and they weren't like a waste of time, and I enjoyed them, but they were nothing special. These are normally not the books I go out there and try to bring to you and make you really excited about them. Then with 4 stars we have this I really liked it. This is what often happens for books I'm just really happy with. This happens to most of the books that have this kind of great world building, that have a good plot, for example, that are really able to create the sense of wonder for me, and a lot of books I read fall between this 3 and 4 star category, and often it's kind of a nuance what puts them in one or the other category. The 5 stars in the end are books where most or all of the 5 aspects I talked about come together. Mostly, to be a 5-star book, you have to score really high on my favorite parts like plot and world building, and you also must bring like something thematic to the table, and have very entertaining characters. That is almost a requirement to be like a 5-star rating. I have some few exceptions for books that are just so much fun that there might not have to be a theme in it, but usually I rate books 5 stars more when there is like a spottable theme like involved. And apart from that, I'm also doing like a favorite shelf where only certain books that really stuck with me, that really impressed me, get onto from my 5-star reads. So I hope that gave you a little glimpse into the way I rate books, and that was entertaining for you. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel. If you want to know what's coming up on my channel, look inside the description box. There's a little segment there called On the Horizon. Of course, if you want to discuss writing or rating and anything like it, do so in the comments. I wish you a good day and hope you get bitten by a really good book too. Bye.